What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. Sitting across from me this week and every week, I like fishing. Not actual fishing. I like the peace and quiet of being at sea. It's different. Like Dezrah.
Yes, I guess I am different and slightly peaceful and quiet, depending on the situation. But of course, sitting across from me is someone who's not Brian Paul.
Every week on Why We Love...
Someone who's not Brian Paul?
No, it's fine. Every week on Why We Love PlayStation VR, we dip into the PlayStation VR archive. We look at some games at random, and we see if they've been updated, given any love by developers, see if they've been given any patches, DLC, and then we rate them. Let you know if they're worth your time. That being said, what game did we decide to play this week, Dezrah?
This week we talked about something unusual on PSVR, a fishing game. Catch and Release.
Catch and Release by Metric Minds, released on August 28, 2018 for $19.99. Yeah, I think you already answered the question. What kind of game is Catch and Release, Dezrah?
It's a fishing game.
Yeah, but it's like a different fishing game than we've ever had before.
Yeah, this is actually a fishing simulator versus a fishing arcade.
Interesting. I wasn't even thinking simulator. I was just thinking mini open world. Mm-hmm. Go do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's where I think the difference between games like Fishing Master and even Dream Angler. Those are all games where there's or even Final Fantasy, the Monsters of the Deep. They're all you catch the fish and there's like energy, flashing energy bars and do this. But there's none of that with this game. This is really, as much as possible, trying to simulate the experience of sitting on a small pond and fishing.
Yeah, and just to continue the comparison, all of those games, I'm thinking, they all have like a home base. They like go off and do this mission, and then come back once you've completed it.
Right.
And then here's your home base of operations. Here's where you're going to buy stuff and sell stuff and whatever. Like, the tagline for this game is just you on a lake. And that is literally the entire game. Mm-hmm. Just you on a lake.
They nailed it. Yeah.
Totally nailed it. But obviously there's it's not just you on a boat in fishing, right?
Well, it is you on a boat and fishing, but it's also, let's right off the bat, you on a boat. Yeah. And if you want to move that boat, you have to row the boat.
Which I think is, from the get-go, when I saw the trailers for this game, and I was looking at it, I was like, is this really how we're going to move around?
It is.
Right? 2 move controllers, absolutely required for this game.
Yes.
Dez isn't kidding. If you want to move from one place to another, you just grab the oars, and then you row. Yeah. I don't know about you, and maybe I haven't done enough rowing machines in my life.
Okay.
Or maybe I just haven't been on enough boats in my life.
Yeah.
I had an issue making it look natural. Like, I was doing it just fine. Like, I was speeding around that lake like 200 miles an hour because I was just doing this.
Right.
But at no point did those oars make the motion like nice and smooth like they probably should look.
Yeah, there's I would say like the tracking and motion in this game is like 90% great, and there's a 10% that's just weird. The oars is one. If you move too fast or the wrong angle, they kind of flop around. And you still move like where you want to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, what the actual oars are doing doesn't really track. And then you're sitting in your boat and you cast. And that's fine. And you really can't, you can move yourself around in space here, but if you want to look at the other side of the boat, there's basically like a click turn button. You can go, bow, stern, port, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then a really weird thing happens if you happen to have your line in the water.
when you click turn?
Yeah, when you click turn.
It's a disaster.
It just goes flying across, everywhere, which is not so bad because you just have to remember that. But, let's say I cast over here, but, I heard an airplane behind me, so I want to go take a look at that. Yeah. And I click over, and that awesome cast I did, well, now it's like flying across the
It's
world.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And there is a reason for that. Not a good reason, but there is a reason. And that's because the game came out in August of 2018.
Okay.
And the ability to turn it all, click turning, was added in September.
Okay.
So initially, when I first played this game for like 4 hours straight, and like you just have to turn your body.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much the extent of it. And that is an issue.
Yeah.
Because there's something very important behind you that when you don't have any turning option is like a real pain in the butt to get to. Yeah.
So right behind you is the cooler. So you basically, like all these games, you catch fish to earn money to buy gear, to catch better fish to earn money, and so on. But the way you earn the money is there's a cooler behind you, and you can either, if you catch a fish, you can release it, or you can throw it in the cooler and catch it officially. Right. And depending on how big the fish is and what the weight restrictions are. Weight restrictions. That is hard for Des to say.
That's all right. It's late.
No, it's just hard for Des to say. You will get more money for releasing it if it's small, or more money for keeping it if it's big.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought you got a little less money for releasing it.
No, it's based on the size. And if you look in the logbook, it'll kind of give recommendations. And I was reading one on article on Reddit where someone was saying it actually kind of builds up a database as you go. So it actually takes like the smallest and largest things that you have caught and bases how much money you get off of that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Also, did you know about the can thing?
The can thing.
Did you throw, so you can buy food and you can buy, beers.
I think we need to put a pin in this because yeah, you just kind of, well, you can just buy this stuff.
Yeah.
There's no point whatsoever to being like, I'm going to buy this sandwich. I'm going to buy this drink. I'm going to buy this beer or whatever, right? But it's all available to do. It's just to add to I mean, there's a little bit of silliness here, but really you're just adding to the immersion. Yes. You're like, it's a bright sunny day. I'm out on a lake. I'm fishing. What do I need? I need food and drinks.
Right. And a hat.
And music. Oh man, there's so much
Finishing
to talk about.
A hat.
There's so much to talk about. So, and then when you're done with the can, well, you don't throw it in the water.
Nope.
Because then you'll get penalized.
Right. You actually get a fine for littering.
Or you can recycle it by putting it in the cooler.
Yes.
And get your quarter.
I didn't realize about this until way too late. I actually had like 3 or 4 cans. I just had them in the boat. Like, I don't know. Do I just live with trash in my boat? But yeah, if you actually take the cans and put them in the cooler, you get money. So
I just have a picture of you just like throwing all of your trash into the lake. And it's like a Jupiter and Mars thing going on. So okay, so what was the other oddity? There was one more oddity in terms of all the tracking and stuff. I do want to add to the click turning thing. Yeah, is that more recently they added smooth turning.
Oh, okay.
As an option.
Yeah. How does that work?
It doesn't. Okay. because click turning obviously has issues. Yeah. Right. It's fine before you cast and after you're done reeling in a fish, but don't mess with it during. Right. Smooth turning doesn't seem to work at all. Oh. Like suddenly no turning is available when you put smooth turning on. Now, unless there's like a different way to turn, like unless they were like hold this button down and like swipe over. Yeah. None of the buttons turn anymore. I don't know what happened. Which is kind of hint at one of the other issues. There isn't much of a tutorial or help at all. Yeah. It just kind of says, check your logbook. And actually, I ended up texting Brian because I did fire this up once, I think very close to like release date. And I haven't actually touched it again since. So I came back into my old game, and whatever tutorial may have happened, I was missing. Yeah. So it kept saying, check your logbook, check your logbook. I'm like, Brian, am I missing something? Am I glitching? Is my logbook? He's like, no, just hit this button and you'll turn the page. Oh, okay. Yeah. It doesn't help that the game says, the game calls your book the logbook, but the book itself has a different title on it. So that's a little confusing. Yeah. All of the controls, except for the actual fishing, are messy as hell. Like turning the page in the book doesn't feel like the right button it would be. Right. Like why you select things from the book and it switches you to a section of the book, but then there's no other selections. You literally have to figure out which button to turn the page of that section, which just doesn't make any sense. Right. And you have to figure out that there are more pages to that section. There's nothing indicating that there are more pages. Yeah. Like again, the fishing itself is fantastic. Everything else you got to get used to. I checked my logbook today. I'm now up to 9 hours of catch and release. Oh wow! Yeah, I love this game. Still haven't beaten it, by the way, and I'm still pushing all the wrong buttons to do everything. Yeah. So it's just wonky, but whatever. It's one of those things. I love the look of this game. Yeah, it's gorgeous. You're on this lake. I'm gonna guess somewhere like. I'm guessing Alaska. I'm getting an Alaska vibe from it. It feels Alaska-y. Alaskan. As you're sitting there, of course there's the water, and sometimes you can look and you actually see the fish in the water. And those are, unlike some fishing games where there's a fish here and you cast and actually the fish that you see isn't really representing what's under the water. No, those are the actual fish. And if you drop your lure near it, it'll scare it away, but then they might come back to it. And if you ever want to cheat, you can just change your height in the game to 0, and then you'll be sitting on the bottom of the boat, and you just put your head underneath the water, and you can find all the fish.
Oh, okay.
It's cheating, but it's...
Well, it doesn't help you get them, though.
No.
You just know where they are. Huh?
Yeah, which is, for me, half the battle.
But apart from the fish there, in the background, kind of in the lake, you can look and see like, oh, there's a fox kind of running through, or there's a bear on the beach, or a moose. Yeah, it's just, and it's not like screaming, calling your attention to it. It's just if you look up, you'll see a bear walking around.
And one of the many things you can buy in this, I love to call it like an Amazon catalog because it delivers the goods pretty much at the same rate that Amazon does.
Right.
Like you literally click it and you have it. It's Amazon Prime.
I've had some issues with Amazon the last week or two, so
then I take it all back. But one of the things you can buy from that catalog is a camera.
Yes,
it's the old school Polaroid camera, and you literally put the camera up to your face and look through the viewfinder. Click the move button, and a photo comes out of the camera that you shake,
and
it develops. And I was like, I don't know why this is so mesmerizing to me, but I just want to take pictures of everything in this game.
Yeah.
I think I have. It's and then so anytime you see like a bear or there's like now one of the most recent updates added like this plane that flies overhead.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Very cool. So anytime something like that, I could be in the middle of catching a fish and I'll be like, hold on, and I'll like with my other hand grab the camera, take a picture, and then put it down and like finish reeling in the fish.
Yeah.
I don't know why I care so much about doing that, but it's just I don't know. I've made it like one of my objectives.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the game actually does. So there are, as Brian kind of mentioned at the beginning, you can just sort of get in the game and open world, do whatever you want. Yeah. But there is a progression. There are actually missions that you get from the logbook. And, one of them is you have to buy the camera and you have to take a picture. It'll send you to take a picture of, the waterfall, for instance, as one of the things. So
and I do have to say I like the mission structure here because you open that book and like there's 3 missions and one of them is always easier than the other.
Yeah.
So if you're just jumping in and you're like, oh man, I got to go find a specific fish, or I have to find, this many fish of this much weight or whatever. You're like, or I can just cast my line 25 feet away.
Yeah.
Right. It feels very Jetpack Joyride. Right. It's just like accomplish these things. And then once you get rid of all of this set of objectives, then it clears the page and gives you another set.
Yeah.
And as you do that, it slowly unlocks things in your little Amazon catalog.
Right.
Which I guess this is the real progression system. So I, embarrassingly, as of this filming, 9 hours in.
Yeah.
Everyone else like 6 hours in has beaten this game.
Yeah.
I'm 9 hours in and I still have bait that's not unlocked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I take my time.
Yeah.
Like it's like, Brian, go do this to accomplish these missions. And I was like, but I just want to hang out and fish. And so sometimes I do that for hours and listen to music.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. Yeah, I guess we'll mention the radio.
We have to mention the radio
because this is one thing that kind of really annoyed me at the beginning. Another angry text I sent to Brian. Because you have this. You start out with a very simple radio, and it's got 4 stations.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 4 stations, and the music's fine, but there's only a couple songs.
There's like a couple songs on each station, right?
Right.
I didn't check to see the exact number. I didn't check the track listing.
Yeah. So after you've heard those songs a few times on each one, and I'm not knocking. I mean, for songs that come with the game, they're pretty good.
Oh yeah. I'm going to venture on the I kind of think they're great category.
Okay.
Or side of things.
Yeah.
The theme song, the catch and release theme song specifically, that'll get stuck in your head immediately.
Yeah.
And the rest of them are just like, man, like a couple of them I was like, are these real songs?
Right, yeah. And I thought the same thing. But then, one of the things in your catalog early on is an upgraded radio. It's like, great.
Right?
This is good. These songs are fine, but I want to hear what else. And so you save your money and, instead of, let's say, saving your money to buy a better rod or something, maybe you'll buy the radio. Don't. Don't. Unless there's something I've missed, it is exactly the same music, and it doesn't get louder. It doesn't have more stations or anything. It's just the same songs. It's just now it's a gray box instead of a brown one.
Yeah, it actually looks less modern than the original one. It looks kind of retro, actually.
Yeah.
So I have an issue with this conversation. I'd like to know in the comments if anybody knows of the difference between the 2 radios, because I didn't buy that radio until today.
Okay.
And I hadn't played this game in months. And I was listening and I was like, I think Des is wrong. I think there are new songs. But again, I haven't played it in months.
Okay.
So they could just be songs they were on stations that I didn't listen to as much as the other ones.
Yeah.
And I just kind of forgot. So I need to know. Metric Minds, tell us.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they're the same songs, but who knows?
So it's the most ridiculous purchase in the game, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, to me, actually, I ended up shutting off the radio and turning on my own music. But
yeah, no, that is, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't tell anyone not to do that, especially after 9 hours of playing. It's time.
And it's also like, it's just one of those things. Early on, it's hard to get that much money and to spend it all on that, and like, oh, now I have to save up for a camera.
Yeah.
But occasionally, like, you do catch and you catch fish and all that, but occasionally you get the game helps you out a little bit, and you might catch, like, I caught a ring once.
I've caught about 100 rings.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's what I do. Mm-hmm. Right.
And is there a way to catch rings?
Well, yes.
Okay.
So apparently either this lake must have like thousands of like dead husbands.
Okay.
Like women must kill their husbands and then like drag them into this lake because they like. So here's how I've caught a ton of rings.
Yeah.
Every time I have to go from place to place in this game,
mm-hmm.
I actually put my line into the water.
Okay.
And then I row from place to place.
Yes.
And almost guaranteed, by the time I get to the new place,
mm-hmm.
that rod is vibrating. And I was like, what's on here? And I pick it up, and there's something attached to it.
Oh.
I have found rubber chickens.
Oh.
I have found quite a number of just rubber boots.
I got boots.
Boots. I don't know why I'm saying rubber boots. I'm thinking rubber chickens.
Yeah.
Probably rubber boots. And then a metric ton of rings.
Wow. All right.
I think there was a pocket watch.
I've got a pocket watch.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how much stuff is just hidden in this lake, but for me, if I was this company, if I was a developer, every week or so I would just be like dumping piles and piles of stuff into my lake.
Yeah.
And just be like, give these people a reason to go back and like, hey, here's a new fish.
Right.
Here's a new item. Here's a new whatever. Here's a hot air balloon that's flying across instead of the plane. Like that's what I love about this game. Really, is that like it's infinitely capable of receiving DLC.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious to see if Metric Minds is going to do that.
But and we will say, like, at this point, if you're wondering, okay, well, this is all well and good, but when I progress, do I unlock a new location? No, you're always at this one pond, which it's a very nice pond. So if you're a big fan of that, but there's no, if you're looking like, oh, I want to keep unlocking stuff and get to a new location or something. Nope. So who knows? Maybe DLC will add a new location at some point. I mean, that certainly seems like it's possible. But
yeah, I mean, essentially, if there was a new location, they'd be doubling the size of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious to know, like, if that was to happen, like, would they, again, be adding a whole new set of objectives? Would they be adding a whole number set of fish? All this like different stuff to do, or would they just release Catch and Release 2?
Yeah,
right. Yeah. So I'm curious to see where they go with this. I mean, is it time to rate it?
I think we covered. I can't think of anything we haven't covered, really.
Yeah, no. I think we should do this.
All right.
Yeah.
So our rating scale is pretty simple. A 1 is you have to buy it. If you have a PSVR, it's got to be in your library. It's just the best of the best, and just stop listening and go buy it. 2 is sure. If it's a genre you particularly like, or if it's on a decent sale, go ahead and pick it up. We're not going to judge you for it. It's fine. And 3 is no. Friends don't let friends buy crap. We need to vote with our wallets and tell developers that we deserve better. So 1, 2, or 3, what do you think?
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Leading up to the launch of this game, I remember watching the trailers and going, could this game be as good as it looks?
Yeah.
Like, is it literally just like this? I mean, I like using the term open world as long as we're all on the same page. It's a very small lake, but it's got a lot of areas. There's no loading screens once you start it up. Yeah,
you can do whatever you want within the world, but it's a small world.
Right.
After all.
But nice. But there's a waterfall, and there's a beach, and then there's this, and then there's that, and and there's it always seems to be like new little things that like catch your attention. And here I am 9 hours in, and finally today I was like, man, I got to start like busting out some of these missions.
Yeah.
Like I got to really start making some progress and start unlocking things. So, and I started doing that, and I was like, man, you can really play this game 2 ways. Like you can just use it to relax and chill. So many people are all like, this is a very, very common question.
Yeah.
We tackle it on today's viewer takeover. In fact, people ask about games like Perfect and Mind Labyrinth VR and games that are designed to like give you this meditative space, like this place to just like relax and enjoy the environment and take it all in, you know, and like block out the real world that might be getting you down.
Sure.
This game just does that without trying to.
Okay.
It's like, hey, we're going to make a fishing game. We're going to put you on a lake on the most beautiful day ever, and it's just going to be awesome and serene, and there's like, you know, you can do a ton of stuff, or you can just do nothing. Mm-hmm. It's just you on a lake.
Yes.
And there's like ambient background noise and like the sound of wildlife and animals. I will say it's all a little bit quiet. They really did seem to focus on the music in this. Mm-hmm. But like when we talked about the art design, or we talked about how beautiful the lake is.
Yeah.
But like there's this, it captures this like interesting space between photorealism.
Yeah.
And slightly cartoony.
Yes.
That like just feels absolutely perfect. And they created a place that I want to be all the time.
Okay.
And I hate fishing.
Yeah.
I don't like real world fishing. I don't like leaving my apartment or being outside. And I really despise the sun. I know that sounds weird, but I hate the sun. It's just awful. Yeah. Awful. And I love being in this world. This is an absolute hands down, like no questions asked, one for me.
Okay.
I love everything about this game. If you're watching this right now, it's on sale from $20. For Plus members, it's on sale for $12. Yeah. But even at $20, it's an absolute one for me.
All right.
What about you?
I feel differently.
I had a feeling this was coming.
No, but I'm not going to I'm not going to say this is a 3 or even close to a 3. This is a really well-made game. It does exactly what it says on the tin. But for me, I'm not particularly interested in that. You know, it was kind of weird. I was playing this game kind of wishing I was playing Monsters of the Deep.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You wanted a more video game?
Apparently I did. Because, and here's the thing, like there have been many games I've played for the channel where I didn't like playing it, like, oh, this game sucks, this is terrible. And there's many games I've played that I really, really enjoyed. You know, but this was the first game that crunching through all the missions, I felt like, oh, I'm actually wasting time. It is fishing.
Yeah.
Like we can't. It's not like you drop your reel in there and then 20 seconds later, no matter what happens, you're gonna get a fish. It's like no, it might take a while.
Oh,
or you might have to recast.
Yeah, it can take a very long time to catch a fish sometimes.
And you've got to troll, and you've got to kind of depending on what kind of fish you want, you've got to kind of toss it out there and mess with it. So the actual act of fishing in this game is the most realistic I've ever seen in any of these games.
Yeah.
Which is really not that fun for me. And the fact that like, oh, well, I need to crush through these missions because I want to make sure that I'm, hitting all the points and making sure I'm getting the whole experience. And literally it just chewed up like 4 or 5 hours out of my day that I didn't really have to give at the time. So, I was annoyed by that. So I will say this, if you like fishing, or if you like the idea of having this quiet meditative space and you have 2 or 3 hours to just kind of sit and chill, by all means do it. But if you're like me and your time is a little kind of crushed and you don't have, and like, I want to sit and I want to play a game that's going to be entertaining in that, like, I'm actually accomplishing something sort of thing, this is not going to be for you.
Our everybody's golf discussion is going to be epic.
Yeah.
So it's a 2.
It's a 2 for me. If you love fishing, if you like fishing games, this is definitely the most realistic one that's definitely out for the system. And yeah.
Side note.
Yes.
Or side question. Mm-hmm. Would you rate Monster of the Deep higher than this? I don't remember what we gave it. I think I gave it a 3, but I think you might have given it a little bit higher.
I think I gave it a little higher. I think if some of the stuff were fixed, like especially a lot of the graphical issues, it would be a better game. Honestly,
what's the best fishing game? What's the fishing game you recommend the highest? Most?
None of them. Honestly. Yeah, I'm really not a big fan of fishing. I guess out of all of them, I think Monster of the Deep is just the most interesting because it's the most crazy, like just batshit, like what is going on right now. So I think out of them, go ahead, play that. But honestly though, if you do like fishing and you like this is a good game. Don't let me steer you wrong, but this is not a game for me. So that's why I'm giving it a 2.
Excellent. As always, we want to know what you thought of Catch and Release. Do you think it also belonged on our top 20 list? Because that's where it fell.
Yes, I know.
Did you play it before the patch? You play it after the patch? Do you know how to use smooth turning? Because I don't. Do you know anything about that radio? Because I don't. Also,
I just kind of funneled through my brain. So Des Nugget has nothing to do with the game specifically, but Polaroids.
Yeah.
You said shaking the Polaroid.
It doesn't actually do anything.
It doesn't actually. No, it does do something. You know how Polaroids always have that kind of blown out, sort of weird. Yeah, that's because you shook the thing. If you don't shake it, it's actually a lot crisper.
So you shouldn't do what the song tells us to do.
No. In fact, the Polaroid, they would announce all the time, like, no, don't shake it. You don't have to. Yeah. Anyways. That's useful information for 30 years ago.
Also, what other games do you want us to talk about? The list is long and it keeps getting longer. Surprise, surprise. For another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR, I'm Brian Paul.
I'm Des.
And we'll see you next week.